The Sultan's palace was heavy with silence, the air thick with boredom, pressed down on every corner of the court. Outside, the midday sun blazed like fire over the city. But inside, the Sultan slumped on his velvet throne, restless, weary, and impossible to please. He had grown tired of the same songs from his musicians. He yawned at the hunter's predictable trophies. Even the delicate embroidery of his wives seemed dull to his eyes. Nothing stirred his interest any more. And then, with a sudden clap of his hands, the Sultan's voice thundered through the chamber. "I am weary of this silence, of this empty flattery, of this endless routine. Bring me a creature that can speak my truth, or by the stars above, I will have every one of you flogged." Gasps filled the hall. The decree struck like lightning. A creature that speaks the Sultan's truth? The viziers glanced at one another, pale with dread. The generals shifted uneasily. The scholars fumbled with their robes. To speak truth to a ruler was to risk one's life. The court froze in silence, each man waiting for another to step forward, and then a young voice broke through. It was Yusuf, clever Yusuf, known not for his riches nor his rank, but for the glint of wit forever dancing in his eyes. He bowed low. "Majesty," he said, his voice smooth and steady, "I will find a creature that speaks your truth." A murmur rippled through the hall. The Sultan, intrigued and amused by Yusuf's audacity, simply waved his hand in dismissal. The next morning, anticipation crackled like fire in the air. The throne room overflowed with courtiers eager to witness what Yusuf had found. Some whispered of a lion, perhaps, who might roar the truth. Others guessed at a parrot, clever enough to mimic the voice of wisdom itself. But when Yusuf entered, the hall fell into stunned silence. He carried no falcon, no lion, no rare treasure from the desert. Instead, he led forward a camel, an old, weary, dust-colored camel. Its tired eyes blinked lazily. Around its neck hung a single scroll of parchment, sealed with a thin red ribbon. The Sultan's eyebrows shot upward. "What is this nonsense? Camels do not speak. Do you mock me?" Yusuf bowed deeply. "This one does, Majesty. Not with its throat, but with its soul. It spoke to me last night, and I recorded every word upon this scroll." The courtiers snickered, trying to stifle their laughter. The Sultan's face darkened with fury. Snatching the scroll, he tore the seal and unrolled the parchment. His eyes darted across the page. He began to read aloud. "This camel speaks the truth. The Sultan loves flattery, not counsel." A silence sharper than any blade cut through the chamber. No one dared to breathe. Then, from the back of the hall, a single cough broke the stillness, followed by a ripple of nervous laughter. The Sultan's face burned crimson. His fist clenched the scroll, crushing it. "Outrage! Deceit! Do you dare insult me with this trickery?" But Yusuf only raised his hands in peace. "Majesty, you demanded a creature that speaks your truth, and this is what it has spoken. Look around you. The court laughs, for laughter is the sound of recognition. Truth stings only because it fits. The Sultan was trapped. To punish Yusuf was to deny the truth, but denying it meant admitting that he feared the words of a camel. For a long moment, the Sultan's fury raged within him, swelling like a storm, but slowly, reluctantly, it ebbed away. His anger gave way to something else, something closer to respect. The flogging was forgotten. The camel was sent to the royal stables, where it dined on the finest hay and cool, clear water. And Yusuf? Yusuf left the court with his head held high, his wit unbroken, and a secret smile upon his lips. For he alone had dared to make a sultan blush, and lived to tell the tale.